Write a brief note on the extent and commencement of the Bhartiya Sakshya Adhiniyam 2023. Are the rules of evidence the same in civil and criminal proceedings? Extent and commencement of the Bhartiya Sakshya Adhiniyam 2023. The Bhartiya Sakshya Adhiniyam BSA 2023 is an important procedural law dealing with the rules relating to evidence in India. It lays down principles regarding admissibility, relevancy, and proof of facts before courts. The Act aims to ensure fair and effective administration of justice. The extent of an act means the geographical area where the act applies, while commencement means the date from which the act comes into force. The Bhartiya Sakshya Adhiniyam 2023 extends to the whole of India. It applies to all judicial proceedings in or before any court, including courts martial except certain military courts constituted under special military laws. The Act generally applies to civil proceedings, criminal proceedings, judicial proceedings before courts, certain courts martial proceedings. However, there are some proceedings to which the provisions of this Act do not apply. The Act does not apply to first affidavits presented before any court or officer. Affidavits are written statements made on oath and are generally governed by separate procedural rules. Second, proceedings before arbitrators. Arbitration proceedings are less formal and are not strictly governed by the rules contained in Bhartiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. Third, certain military courts established under special laws. The law of evidence is regarded as a part of procedural law because it regulates the manner in which facts are proved before courts. Are the rules of evidence the same in civil and criminal proceedings? Generally, the rules relating to the admissibility and relevancy of evidence are substantially the same both civil and criminal proceedings. However, there are certain important differences because the nature and object of civil and criminal cases are different. In civil cases, the primary object is to determine private rights and liabilities, whereas in criminal cases, the object is to determine criminal guilt and protect society against offenses. General principles in criminal cases. The following important rules are especially applicable in criminal proceedings. First, presumption of innocence. An accused person is always presumed to be innocent until the prosecution proves his guilt. The burden of proving guilt lies upon the prosecution. Second, proof beyond reasonable doubt. In criminal cases, evidence must be strong enough to remove reasonable doubts regarding the guilt of the accused. Third, benefit of doubt. If any reasonable doubt exists regarding the guilt of the accused, the benefit must always be given to him. Fourth, proof of corpus delicti. There must be clear proof that a crime has actually been committed. The expression corpus delicti means body or substance of the offense. The court must be satisfied not only that an offense has occurred but also that the accused committed it. This principle is reflected in the famous observation of Holroyd's J. It is better that 10 guilty persons escape than that one innocent person suffer. Distinction between civil and criminal proceedings regarding evidence. Although evidence rules are generally similar, the following differences exist. First, standard of proof. Civil cases issues are decided on the basis of preponderance of probabilities. The court determines which party's version appears more probable. Criminal cases issues must be proved beyond reasonable doubt. For example, if in a property dispute the evidence slightly favors one party, the court may decide in his favor. But in criminal proceedings, even a small reasonable doubt may result in acquittal. Second, Certain provisions are more important in criminal law. Some provisions are specifically more significant in criminal cases, such as confession, dying declaration, character evidence, competency of witnesses. These concepts frequently arise in criminal trials. Third, relaxation of rules. Civil cases, rules of evidence may sometimes be relaxed with the consent of parties or by order of the court. For example, evidence may sometimes be accepted through affidavits. Criminal cases. Rules are generally stricter and cannot easily be relaxed because personal liberty and criminal liability are involved. Role of court and parties. Civil cases. Parties themselves present their case and evidence before the court according to their choice. Criminal cases, the court plays a more active role in ensuring that all relevant evidence is brought before it so that justice is achieved. Conclusion. Thus, the Bhartiya Sakshya Adhiniyam 2023 extends throughout India and applies to judicial proceedings with certain exceptions, although the rules of evidence are generally similar in both civil and criminal cases. Important differences exist regarding burden of proof, standard of proof, role of the court, and procedural requirements.